We're live now.
We are live. Hello, everybody. Hello. We're gonna wait for everybody to come on and join us. But welcome to another episode of the Josh and Peyton Chronicles. I don't know what we're gonna call it, but I'm just gonna go with that. So, today we are going to talk entertainment. What do we talk about today, Mr. Peyton?
So I think the topic tonight is supposed to be like tips for interviewing with agents. And I should disclaim the audience right now. If Josh sounds weird on his microphone, it's because something's wrong. Because it's echoing for me and it's going to drive me crazy for the next hour. So hopefully you guys can't hear it. But if you do, it's not your computer, it's Josh's. But you know, we'll be all right.
Well, I hope everybody can hear me okay. I hope everybody is enjoying their Wednesday evening wherever you are in the world. And we're just excited to get back. We've actually been on tour. Oh crap.
It's very bad. So why don't
I'm gonna have to I'm gonna log out and
why don't you squeeze these little connections together, like make sure that's there, and then the one into the red box, and then the one in the back end of your computer. And while you do that, I'll talk to everybody.
I'm gonna do and come right back.
Yeah, stop talking, please. Thanks. Yeah. So anyway, so Josh having technical difficulties is basically the best day of my life. And so, because that means it's only me that is talking to you guys. So yeah, like I said, tonight, what the topic is going to be is it's going to be, you know, tips on your interview with agencies. Obviously, we're going to start with a little bit of a foundation, and then we're going to open up the floor to you guys because this is a whole lot more fun when you talk to us, because it's going to be a lot for me to talk to you guys with Josh for 1 hour. I can say that before he gets back on. So as you guys know, at our event, Preview Models, that happens in Los Angeles, basically at the end of the 4-day event, there's anywhere from 35 to 45 agencies agencies, management companies, and sometimes casting directors that we have at the event. And, you know, they come, they see the show. Ultimately, they're looking for new talent to represent, new models to represent. And at the end of those 4 days, there's actually interviews with every single one of those individuals that are there. So the interview moment that we're talking about here can apply to that. And it can also apply to if you are shopping agencies and management companies on your own, and you're lucky enough, you're competitive enough to get an interview just by submitting to them directly or through a referral.
So hello. I'm back. How's that? Is that better?
It's not, unfortunately. Yeah.
Dang.
Man.
I don't know what else to do. So what if I put it further away? Is that fine?
I'm not the tech savvy person. Our helpers here are. But actually, what you probably could do, Josh, is you can probably go to the settings there and just switch from the Scarlett mic to the Mac mic for today. And then do that. But you apparently, as Stephanie had just said, you have to select that before you enter the studio. So you got to exit, do it to the computer mic, and then we'll see you back here in a minute after I talk bad about you a little bit more.
Oh, don't talk bad about me more. Is this better? I switched some.
No.
Well, technical difficulties. I don't know what else to do. I switched everything.
Well, anyway, so welcome to Preview Models, where we do everything to give you an authentic entertainment experience, which is exactly what we're doing right now. And so I'm just going to jump into this while Josh figures out what's going on over there. And so to set the foundation for this whole thing, you know, obviously, when we're working with talent, a lot of the models that we're working with are newer to the industry. They maybe haven't met with a lot of agencies before. If they have, they're usually only regional agencies. And the thing that I like to remind everybody of, like, two things, really. Number one, this is entertainment, and it gets a little bit weird because this is a business, and you guys, the models, the talent, that you are the products, but at the same time, you're a person, you're human. So things get a little bit weird emotionally in our head. And so the sooner you kind of realize that and kind of step back and realize that, you're just kind of like a product in this whole industry, the better that you're going to do with it. That's the first thing that I like to remind everyone. But the second thing is, when you are interviewing with an agency, especially if they are already interested in you, which, for the most part, if you're having an interview with them, they are. At the end of the day, the only reason that they're interested in you is because they think that you can ultimately make them money, because an agency, a management company, is not going to get paid until you get paid on the back end via a commission. So it feels like they are choosing you and that they're kind of in the driver's seat, but really you're in the driver's seat, because remember, you're the one that can ultimately make them money. So that's kind of the foundation for this whole thing. Do you want to try to talk to see if this is working?
Microphone check 1 1 2.
Yeah, it's like you're beatboxing to us in a very, very terrible way. So, and so anyway, yeah, so that's kind of the foundation for this whole thing. So ultimately, and we'll probably say this multiple times, like when you're having these interviews with these agencies, at the end of the day, the thing that makes you, the thing that makes you unique, is the thing that is going to set you apart from everybody else that these people are interviewing, these companies are interviewing. So authenticity is very, very important in these interviews. And then being professional is very important as well, because at the end of the day, this is a business. And so I'm going to start with that, and then I'm going to open up the floor to you guys. Normally Josh is here and talks a whole lot more about, I don't know, what he ate last night or something like that. And so we have a lot of back and forth before we actually get to the topic, but I'm ready to talk about it. So if you're on Instagram Live, keep in mind, I cannot see the questions that you are asking. However, they will be fed to me. And then if you're on YouTube, I'm going to be able to see those questions. So interact with me, help me. And so anyway, first question is, how do I find an agent in Dallas, Texas? So get online. In whatever city you are, most major cities have agencies there, talent agencies and modeling agencies, sometimes agencies that do both. However, I will give you a disclaimer. All right. Outside of Los Angeles or California, outside of New York, outside of these major markets, there is a lot of gray area in terms of the legalities and like the licensing of these agencies. Some states don't even have a license or a licensing department. So for example, there's a rule in California that is, you cannot double dip in talent's funds. That means you can't take funds on the front end and you can't take funds on the back end. It's one or the other. So up front would be kind of like a coaching service. On the back side would be like an agency or a management company. And so, and it's very heavily regulated in the major markets. Outside of that, it's not. So sometimes you might find somebody who claims to be an agent, but they're going to say something like, oh, but it's, $500 to put you on my website, or, the website fee, or I need to do a photo shoot or a test shoot first. That's not necessarily illegal. However, if it's me and I'm talent and I'm looking for someone to represent me and represent me the best way, then I might only want them to get a percentage on the back end because they might work a little bit harder. Just kind of like a real estate agent that's selling your house. But to answer your question, how do I find an agent in Dallas? So start online, do your research, and, submit to them. But lucky for you, I'm very familiar with the Texas market. So some agencies in Dallas that are very good. Kim Dawson Agency is one. The Klutz Talent Agency is very good. Dragonfly Agency is great. There's specifically a modeling agency versus these others do talent as well. And then I said Kim Dawson, and then Campbell Agency. Those are probably the top 4 agencies that I would recommend in the Dallas market, and they all stay very, very busy. I think the Dragonfly Agency now has a Los Angeles office as well, but all of them are going to have Los Angeles contacts, but they're based in Dallas.
How this? Can you hear me? Okay.
No. Yeah, it's like it's just like this. That's what it's like.
Okay.
Yeah, Stephanie has given you some tips down there.
I see that. I see that.
Yeah. So let's see here. I'm going through the questions because they're also talking to Josh about his sound here. So the question is the event in San Diego on Friday a normal open call? So first off, we're in San Diego on Saturday. So we're doing a Saturday audition casting call in San Diego. And basically, it's just like an open casting call for the Preview Models event. We are currently casting for our March 2025 show. We have a couple spots that we're trying to fill for the October 2024 show, but it's almost fully casted. And so basically we're having an open call, looking for talent, for models, for influencers, content creators for that March 2025 show. And ultimately, we're looking for talent that the agency's management companies, sometimes casting directors that come to our event would be interested in. And that's kind of a broad spectrum of what we're looking for, because like I mentioned in the very beginning, these agencies are looking for people that will make them money. And so ultimately, that's what we're looking for, someone that we think the agencies can make money off of, because it's a business. Welcome to entertainment.
I have a question. Can you hear me now? Is it better?
Yeah, we can. This is probably as good as we're going to get. You're not on the high def microphone, but we can hear you and it's not annoying.
Well, that's good. Okay. Well, hi, everybody. Sorry I'm late. I had some technical difficulties. Apparently, I don't know how to work the electronics on my own computer. So sorry for that. But let's get back into this. Thank you all for joining and coming on. And hopefully you can get some questions answered about entertainment. I mean, we'll spread the knowledge of what we have for the moment. All right. So let's get back into the questions. Do you see Utah as a major market? I would say no. I don't see Utah as a major market. I see Utah as a local market. You're going to get some local jobs, some fashion weeks, some things like that. But as far as like national campaigns, those are going to come from the big national agencies out of the major hubs. Major hubs being Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, Miami, Dallas. Those are the major markets. So am I missing any of those?
You're not, but I just want to clarify that when Josh answered that, it almost sounded like an opinion, that his opinion is that Utah is not a major market. And as like, let me give you a de facto, no, it's not. You're going to find, again, like regional work, but
that's what I just said.
There. Yeah, but it sounded, the inflection, the tone in your voice sounded like it was an opinion. And I'm going to point that out because your inflection and your tone when you're having these interviews with these agencies is important.
Well, thank you for letting me know that. But yeah, no. What's the age to apply? And does this apply to Preview Models? So, Peyton, what is the age to apply for our open auditions?
So for like our open auditions, for the most part, we're probably looking for, I'd say, 9 and up. There is some flexibility around that. What it comes down to ultimately is, at our shows, we have, 12 to 15 designers usually. And ultimately we have to have, clothes that the model can actually fit in. And so we have had, kids basically under 9 that have been in the show before, and we've brought in a designer specifically for them, and we're open to doing that. But for the most part, we're looking for 9+.
Yes. Getting into it. Will we be coming to Boston? Absolutely. Absolutely. How's my tone? Good? Okay. Mm-hmm. Not an opinion. It's good. Yeah. So we will be coming to Boston. We love coming to Boston. We've actually found some great talent out of Boston. and we will be coming. I don't know the schedule just yet. I know that it's not in the next couple of months, but I will say probably within the next 6 months we will be in Boston. So that's what I would say with that. So keep your eyes out. Make sure you're following the Preview Models Instagram, and make sure you're following the YouTube because we post a lot of great content on the YouTube. So we have an agent that comes on speaking with other agencies and industry professionals. And it's really just free information about entertainment for you guys so you can really understand the business of what this is.
And I should also make a quick note. So, there's a lot of cities in the US, there's a lot of cities in the world. It takes us a while to get back to these cities, even if we find great talent in them. You are able to schedule an audition with our casting directors outside of our in-person open call auditions. If you're interested in something like that, all you have to do is you can just DM our Instagram and let them know, and they'll get you situated. Or you can email our auditions team, which is auditions@previewmodels.com. And they'll set you up for an audition if you don't want to wait until the next time that we're in Boston, because we don't come in winter. So that means it might be next year before we're there.
How's my mic?
Say it again.
How's my mic now?
Nope. This is going to be a no for me.
Okay. Let me go back to my speaker. Once again.
Oh my God. Okay, that's better than you like the regular mic.
We're gonna take that over the very, very choppy option. Yeah.
Okay, so let's get back into this. I apologize for my technical issues here, but whatever. All right. Hello. I'm in the October show in LA, and I was wondering what happens once the show is done. Well, I'm glad that you're coming to October. We are very excited for October. We have the theme. We're starting to put together all of the great details for October. We have a couple celebrity designers joining, some designers from the television show making the cut, and we're very excited about October. So,
and Project Runway.
Yeah, and Project Runway. That's correct. What does happen to the models after the show's done?
So what happened? And I kind of already talked about this, but I'm going to review it again, just a little bit more clear. So basically, the show happens on Saturday. That's done and over with. You go back, you rest, and then we all reconvene on Sunday. And so on Sunday, so first off, at the show, all of the agencies, the managers, the casting directors that are coming to the event are there. They see the entire show. They're already starting to kind of make their, mental notes as to who they're interested in. And then the very next day is the meet and greet with all of these companies. And so you'll go meet with every single company that, had a representative at the event. Some events like this, you get a callback list. So that's like the list of their interests, and you only go meet with the companies that gave you a callback. We do it very differently. We make sure that you meet with every single company there. One, just so you can get feedback from them, because in this industry, you normally don't get a lot of it, and it's gold. And also just so, you have an opportunity to actually have an interview with them. Maybe you can express a little bit more personality than that they saw on the runway for whatever reason. And who knows, maybe it can turn into a callback. And so that's what happens on that day. And then next 2 to 3 weeks is when these companies come back to us and they say, hey, these are the people. I don't know what just happened there on the StreamYard. Anyway, these are the people that we're interested in. And you will then get instructions on how to follow up. Every company is different. You might have a Zoom meeting with the rest of their team. They may ask you to submit, a demo reel, your portfolio, what digitals, whatever. And then it kind of goes from there. And we can talk about that more in detail in a minute if you guys have questions about that. But that's what happens after the show.
And I want to add on to that. That we are really good at placing talent. That's what we do. At our last production that we had, which was March of 2024, yes, that's correct. We had 172 total talent. Is that right? Those numbers?
You got it. Yes.
Yes, going through the production, and we had over 450 callbacks to agencies. It was a really successful show. The producer of the show, Miss Laura James, did an amazing job. That's actually who's going to be producing the October show that you guys will be a part of. And the agencies, we had about 40 different agencies that attended that show and over 450 callbacks to agencies. So we are really, really good at placing talent. That's why we do this. All right. So let's get back into the questions, Mr. Payton. Any need for plus size models and over age 50 models? Are we looking for plus size models and models for the over the age of 50? What would you say to that?
So, like I said, we are looking for people that can ultimately make money for these agencies. And they're, open up a magazine, look on TV. There's a little bit of everything these days. So yeah, we are very open to plus size models. We're very open to models over 50. Actually, I bring her up all of the time. 2 or 3 shows ago, can't remember that exactly. We had a model. I think she was 62 when we first found her, somewhere in the DC area. Anyway, 62 years old, ex-like government worker, just wanted to do something for fun. She had a very professional attitude about the whole thing, was willing to listen to us and took our direction. Anyway, came to the event, several callbacks, literally moved out, in a month. I'm not saying you have to move, but this is what she did. Moved out in a month. And I constantly get updates from her manager and her agent about all of the consistent work that she does. So, ultimately, when somebody is placed with an agency or management company, we don't necessarily know all of the work that those people are getting unless they or their agency comes back and tells us. But I can definitely confidently say that I've heard more about Angela the last, couple months than any of the other clients. So I know she's doing really well.
Yeah.
So
and
it's open to everybody.
Yeah. And as far as plus size goes, plus size modeling is on the rise. We deal with plus size divisions in the major agencies that we deal with. And also, have you walked past Victoria's Secret lately? Like there's open availability for everybody right now. So don't think about age, don't think about size. Like if this is something that you want to do, follow your dreams. That's what I would say. That kind of goes into that question also. Like,
well,
are you taking?
Yeah, we do take all shapes and sizes, but you skipped a question earlier. So
I did.
Yeah, you did. So the question is it common for a mother agency that showed interest in you to take more than 2 months, more than 2.5 months to contact you for an interview? So I'm not going to say whether it's common or not, because every single one of these companies operates in their own way. I think it's odd that it's taking them that long to contact you for an interview if they actually expressed interest. Yeah. At the end of the day, though, you need to treat this like a business. And I don't know for sure, but I've seen agencies that express interest in people, and then they sit back and they wait to see who's going to be the aggressive one, who's going to be the more professional one, and follow up with them first. I don't know if that's the case here, but ultimately, if you're interested in the agency, you vibed with them for whatever reason, and you want to explore potentially signing with them, then maybe you should reach out. So don't be afraid to reach out. Remember, you're in the driver's seat because ultimately you're the person that can make the money.
Yeah, 2.5 months is a long time. So.
It's a long time. Yeah. Normally, the agencies that we work with, once they give us their callback list and they give us, the details or the instructions that they want the models to follow up with, usually they're communicating within that week, if not sooner.
Yeah. And going into the next one, is there anything in the Austin area? We were actually just in Austin. We just did an Austin casting. What didn't we 2-3 weeks ago?
Yeah, we did an Austin casting. I think it's actually been over a month ago because we've been traveling for 3.5 weeks. But it's over a month ago, so you missed out. But and it's going to be a long time before we're back in Austin. But like I said, you can schedule an in-person audition. Sometimes we do Dallas, but we just did that, so it's going to be a while. So maybe San Antonio or Houston would probably be the next soonest one, but it'll be a while. So I say do a virtual audition with us.
Yes. And you can reach out to the Preview Models Instagram, right, for auditioning. If somebody's interested in auditioning, reach out.
Basically, anything Preview Models related, you can DM the Instagram. I think that's what you do. You can probably do it on TikTok too, but I don't know what you call it on there. And then or you can email us. Like I said, auditions@previewmodels.com.
Yeah. All right. So what are the expected timelines for the casting process? I'll tell you what the expected timelines for our casting process. Normally, when we go into a city, most recently, we've been seeing about a little over 1,000 submissions per city that we go to. We'll see roughly between 200 to 400 people in person while we're actually there on one of the days. And then we have a callback process where we'll kind of narrow down like who we think would be most marketable and most successful in a setting like this in the production. And then you would actually know the answer the evening that you actually audition, and you would come back the second day and really see if this is meant for you. You know, because you guys have to want to work with us just as much as we want to work with you guys. And, you know, sometimes it doesn't match up, but we're not saying that this is the only way to get into entertainment. We're just really good at the process that we've developed to get you in front of agencies and get you placed. So the expected timelines for our casting process is a 2-day, is I would say a 2-day turnaround. And, okay, and let's get into this. How can participating in this casting call help models build their portfolios? Do you want to touch on that, Mr. Payton?
I do. So luckily, this is a Q&A where we can be an educational experience. So our casting call, any casting call, is not going to help your portfolio. Casting calls are just you going on an audition to see if the client thinks that you're a fit for whatever they're looking for. Nobody cares about the auditions that you've been on. They only care about the work that you've actually booked. So if you do book a job from a casting call, then that is something that you would put in your portfolio. So I guess to directly answer your question, how can a casting call help you build your portfolio? Well, go to the casting call and book the job. That's how.
Yeah, I would say don't focus so much on like the portfolio aspect of it. Let's focus on the work. Like, let's book jobs. Let's get some national campaigns, and that portfolio will just build by itself. Initially, we want to get like all the points that these agencies are wanting and needing to sign a talent, so that you can sign with an agency and go out on national castings and book national jobs. From there, your portfolio will just automatically build. Or if you're working with some really good major designers, put that in your book. But that's really the last thing I think on our minds that we're really looking for is the portfolio that you've actually built. We want to focus on the jobs. All right. Who can do the casting? Who can do the casting, Mr. Payton? Can you do the casting?
Yeah, but luckily I'm way better on the other side of the camera. And so anyway, we've already went through this. Like,
I've seen your comp card. I've seen your comp card, and
I don't have a comp card. I have a headshot. I never had a comp card. Anyway,
we gotta push your headshot right here, like right over your face. That would be the best.
Luckily, we're live, and the editing team doesn't have that handy right now. Anyway, we already went through this. Everybody can audition for the casting. If you're interested in entertainment, you think you got something that we'd be interested in, then you qualify. Yeah. Except if you're a baby, we're not interested, or at least I'm not, and Preview Models isn't, but maybe another agency would be.
All right, let's get back into it. Thanks for all the questions, guys. They're really good questions, very entertainment based, and that's what this is for. So if you have a question, if you have anything on your mind, entertainment related, now's the time to ask. You'll get a really nice, fluffy answer from me, and then you'll get the business of strict answer from Mr. Payton on that side. There we go. All right. Is there potential for future collaborations with the production company or associated brands? Maybe. I mean, depends on who the company is, what the brand is, and making sure that it aligns with our producers of the actual show itself, and making sure that whoever the collaboration with, like whether it be sponsorship or whatever it is, aligns with our vision of Preview Models as well. So I would say, yeah, maybe submit, if somebody is interested as far as sponsorship for the actual production or associated brands, definitely looking.
Yeah, we've had multiple clients that have came through that worked with a particular designer and then worked again with those designers outside of the preview show. So that definitely happens. Is it common? No, but the opportunity is there. That's kind of why the event is designed the way that it is. It has the purpose of getting in front of the agencies and management companies and ultimately represented by them. But you're in the muck of the designers and everybody else. So things happen from you just being around that environment anyway.
Yeah, and to touch on that, my good friend Chanel West Coast does participate in the actual productions. And the last production that she did, she brought MTV. MTV was there kind of filming her process. She's on a reality show herself that's coming out. But the models that she picked to walk for her line got to be featured in this MTV reality show that she's doing. And also they did a video shoot for Coastie Swim, which was the brand, at her studio. So, I mean, they did actually collaborate. All right. Are there any deadlines for applications? I think we're talking about the casting process again.
If we're talking about our casting process, then basically you have until about Friday before the events, which are usually Saturday. If you're talking about applications to like agencies, they're just always there. So there is no deadline.
Yeah.
Now is the time. Now is the time.
In San Diego this weekend. So if you're in the San Diego area, Carlsbad area, we are coming to town with our crew, and we're looking for some potential people to join the Preview Models Productions in San Diego. Next week, we're going to be in Miami, Florida. And the week after that, I think we're still in Florida. I think we go to Pensacola, Florida. Is that right?
Sure. I don't have the calendar right here, but that sounds great.
All right. So I am not an experienced model. Can I do it? Thank you so much. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, like my whole mindset has really changed, like with what people can accomplish. My son was in an accident recently, and, he's just, in his mind, he's just the strongest person imaginable. And I really believe, like, if you think that this is for you and you think that you can accomplish something, go for it. Like, follow your dreams, follow the path that you've always wanted to follow, and just go for it. You really just never know what's going to happen. And if you want, to come out and audition and be in a big Hollywood show, what's stopping you? Just go for it. Do it, Okay. For the first audition, we need to go to Houston, ?
Well,
okay.
That's not what I said, but let me reiterate. So I think there was a little confusion there because there was somebody that was asking when the Austin audition was. And I said it's past. The Austin audition is past. We've already done a Dallas audition. We've already done a Houston audition. So if you were to wait for an in-person audition in the state of Texas, most likely the next audition would probably be San Antonio. I don't know when that's going to be, though. But forget all that for confusion's sake. If you're in Texas and you're interested in auditioning for Preview Models, you should just do a virtual audition and email us or DM us to get that set up. So don't worry about any of that.
A lot of questions about auditioning. I like that. It's really cool. So just keep in touch with us. DM us. If you're interested, message us. Let us know that this is something that you want to do. I believe our October production is actually next, but I'm pretty sure we're almost about sold out of that as far as space goes. But we do have our March 2025 production that we are currently casting for. And those of you that don't know, we are international as well. We do production in Paris, France as well. So let's get back into the questions here. Is there a market for petite fashion models? I mean, I feel like these questions are kind of the same answers over and over, though. But I'll let you take this one again, Mr. Payton.
You're letting me take it because I'm going to drill in the fact that I, think that everybody needs to like listen, but maybe you just hopped onto the thing. So is there a market for petite models? Yes. Open a magazine, go to the store, you see petite, mannequins or, models, whatever. So the answer is yes. At the end of the day, entertainment in general is a business and they're looking for products to sell. And at the end of the day, you can look like anything. You can be almost anything as long as, you're sellable. That's a rabbit hole of a question to kind of determine what's sellable and what's not. But again, look on TV, open a magazine. You're going to see a lot more people that you've related to lately. And so, everything is, there's a fit for almost everyone. Are you going to be a fit for every job? No, but there's a fit somewhere in the industry for everyone. What it comes down to is, are you prepared to work in this industry? And do you know how to do it from a competitive angle?
Yeah. Okay. When is the next show date for this year? So our next production is October 2024, and the dates of that October production, drum roll please, go.
This is the 26th of October.
The 26th of October.
Yeah,
in Hollywood, California. That's our next show. And we are releasing more details pretty soon on that show. I don't want to release too much information just yet because we're still talking with the producer. We're still getting all of the designers lined up, all the agencies. We have well over 40 agencies that are attending that production in October the 26th. But that will be the next show for this year. All right. So for casting, what do we bring other than ourselves? So when somebody auditions, they'll get an email of what to bring or what to wear. But let's kind of touch on what should people bring to these auditions when they're auditioning for preview models.
Like we said, yourself. A little bit of personality is not terrible. You need to come dressed in all black form-fitting attire, little to no makeup. I don't care we don't care. What you can do with yourself. We need to see the blank canvas that you are. If you're a girl or a guy, whatever, you might want heels so we can see you walk in those. And then you'll need a photo so we can put a face to the name when we're going through the hundreds of people that we saw later in the day. It's a lot easier for us to give you a call back, and it's a lot less likely that you would fall through the cracks if you bring a photo that we can add to your application. But other than that, that's all you got to bring.
And a good attitude.
Like I said, a little bit of personality helps.
I meant a good attitude. Maybe you could bring a good attitude.
I don't care what it is. Just don't walk in like styrofoam and we'll be good.
All right. Is there any payment we need to make? As far as like financials, this is like a big kind of question in the entertainment when you're talking about working with the production company, upfront fees, as far as investing in yourself into getting into entertainment, whether you do this or whether you're trying it on your own, there's going to be financials attached to it. Okay. I want to stress that you are getting into something, that there's a lot of these agencies expect us to have a lot of these bullet points worked out on your resume so that they can sign you, and so that you're actually competitive in a national casting setting. Okay. So to do that, there's going to be financials, whether you're doing it on your own, getting photographers, or, making your way out to Los Angeles. There is investment in this company, in this business. You have to be willing to invest in yourself when you're getting into entertainment, just like anything, right? You go to college to work on a career that is, a next level career or whatever it is. You're investing into the college. In a trade school, right? If you're doing hair or if you're learning how to do eyelashes, you have to pay to learn how to do those eyelashes before you're placed, right? You have to understand the craft of what you're getting into. And especially on a national level, like it's a constant investment in yourself. Not has nothing to do with preview models or anything. This business in a whole, you're constantly investing into yourself. You're constantly bettering your craft because you're starting from the ground level. You're starting in the middle level, wherever it might be. You're talking about competing with some of the top talent in the world. So there's going to be investment in yourself financially. Like this is a process. This is a business that you're actually putting yourself out there. I'm sure Peyton's going to have something to add on to this, but I would say, like, if you're expecting to get something for free in this business, it's not going to happen. Okay. LA Models is not going to walk in the door and just look at you and be like, oh my God, you are so beautiful. Here is a national target campaign. Go knock that out. Right. There's still a lot of things that you have to understand about the industry, the agencies, the casting process, like your actual experience and what you've actually done. So getting into this, just keep in mind that this is a business on the highest level, and there's going to be investment in yourself.
And then all I got to add
I did such a good job. I left you speechless. Wow.
For additional clarity, because we started this whole thing when I talked about, in at least the major markets, there's usually there is rules in place in terms of what you can do with talent funds. You either take them up front or you take them on the back end or whatever. But another rule in all of those markets is that it's illegal to charge anything for an audition. And so for our auditions, though, there is no payment for any auditions. That's another question that someone had, but it ties into that one. So yeah, no payment for the audition.
No payment whatsoever. To audition for sure. But I do want to also let everybody know that is on here. Okay. Like, this is an international production company, right? What we're doing is we're placing talent with national agencies, signing and working on a national level. Okay. We're not talking about a Barbizon or a John Casablanca or these little auditions that you may see on Facebook that have like Disney writing, and then you just go to some hotel. That's not what this is. This is an international production, placing talent with major agencies. Okay. I do want everybody to understand this is not a school. Okay. It's not a school. If you're looking for a school, I'm sure you can find a local school around there, but that's not what we do. And also, so everybody understands, when you do see these ads that come up like, hey, do you want to be on Disney Channel? Keep in mind something. Disney is not going to travel to Oklahoma and cast in Oklahoma. Okay. Like, when you see these auditions that are coming across the screen, they're for schools. That's what they do. They're acting schools. They're wanting you to stay in this process of learning and teaching and paying them fees. But it's not an agency, and there's no way a casting. So I just want to make sure everybody understands that castings come from major markets, working with the casting directors from major networks. Okay. All right. So let's get into, I think I just said that one.
Yeah. So anyway, a little pause real quick for everybody that's listening. Like, clearly this whole Q&A has turned to like a preview models info session, which is great. That's cool. That's what you guys are asking. But if you do have any questions about interview tips for the agencies, throw those in there as well. And so let's see, where are you at in the question?
Well, you kind of already said it. You kind of went into, I'll explain the difference between a production company casting call and an agency signing. So actually, Peyton, if you could touch on that, I think you just did it. Like, didn't you just say?
We probably skirted around the idea. So can you explain the difference between a production company casting call and an agency signing? I mean, those are very different things. But so look here, I think this is what you're asking. So what Preview Models is that we are producing a show that, is a resume builder, basically, that you are in, but ultimately it is a platform for us to showcase you to the agents, managers, and casting directors that come to our event. And so the casting call is for us to find people to put in that show for that. An agency signing, if we're actually answering your question, means that they're doing a contract with you. And so that means one of the agencies that were at the event are interested in you. You're interested in working with them, and then you sign a document, a contract. and then you become one of their clients. So I answered your question matter-of-factly, but if you meant something else, you should probably add it in there again.
All right. Yeah, and an agency, there's no fees for any agency to sign you. Okay.
At least the agencies in the major markets. We talked about that earlier when Josh was having audio issues. You know, sometimes you might see an agency in Utah or wherever that says, hey, you know, I want to represent you, but, you know, it's X amount for me to add you to the website or whatever. We're not saying that that's like wrong and illegal in that market. But again, depending on how, you know, you view the industry and how aggressive you want to be, you might want someone that's only accepting that fee on the back end because they might be a little bit more, you know, be more willing to work for you harder versus, you know, hey, real estate agent, sell my house, but let me give you all this money to do it first. I feel like they'll work harder to get the house sold if they don't have that in the beginning. Same thing.
All right. I think we got that one. Let's move on here. Is there any payment in preview models auditions?
We already talked about that. So,
it's not. But if somebody wants to put my Zelle in the comments, I mean, I'm taking payment. No, I'm just kidding. There's no payments to the preview models auditions whatsoever. It is a open audition, free, open to the public. Come see what you got. All right. What are the long-term goals for models who participate in the preview models shows? The long-term goals is working full-time in entertainment. Like that is your career. That is what you do. That would be my goal for you, is to learn the business, understand what you're doing, sign with an agency that understands you and your brand and your goals and really what you want to do, and go accomplish that. Go on national auditions, go on, you know, movie auditions, whatever you can find that your agency is going to send you. So the long-term goal for models is to get signed and to work nationally and internationally in major markets. That's what I would say. All right. Does Preview Models offer any mentorship or guidance to help models develop their skills? Yes, absolutely. That is actually why Preview Models exists. That is what we actually do. You're going to be working with numerous America's Next Top Models over the process. We have social media influencers that come in, some of the biggest in the industry, brands that come in, agencies that we'll be able to talk to. And all of these are really skills that we guide you along and learn so that you can understand the business of what you're getting into and that you can work nationally. But we do have a lot of mentors on the platform. We have a lot of guidance. I mean, we even have a video tutorial system. We have a do-it-yourself video system from all of our top models, some acting coaches. There's a lot of different things that we'll provide along the way. And to make sure that you're 100% prepared when you come to these shows and you're working with these top models and you're getting in front of these agencies, and you'll have the skills necessary to sign. Anything to add there?
Yeah, I'm going to tack on to that just to kind of loop it into like the topic of what tonight is supposed to be, which is like these agency interview tips or whatever. So all of the stuff that Josh said is like accurate, but ultimately what the reason of it is for is, you know, right now, if you're brand new to the industry, you just decided that you wanted to do this, or maybe you've been thinking about it for a while and you're wanting to finally submit to these agencies. Right now, what you're doing is you're probably going on the agency websites, the ones you've heard before, you're submitting to them and you're waiting to hear back from them. You know, it can take anywhere from like 6 to 8 weeks if it's a yes. But what's going to determine, or if it's a maybe really of interest, what's going to determine that is how competitive your submission is to them. And so we've kind of taken that whole process out. And, we make sure you're competitive before you meet the agencies. And then instead of doing it through like a submission or through email and waiting 6 to 8 weeks, we're just cutting straight to the chase and you're meeting 35 to 45 of them in that moment. Already competitive because you just went through the whole process.
Yeah. And to touch on that, I mean, the skills that we're developing right now, we have placed talent in major feature films, Netflix. We have a girl on the cover of British Vogue. We have people in New York, LA Fashion Weeks. We have people working with major brands. We have people signed all over the place. I just wanted to add on to that. So yes. What kind of clothes do we need to pack for the October show?
You missed one.
Well,
yeah,
I did. Oh,
yep.
Sorry.
What kind of support can models expect from preview after the show is complete? So basically, like I explained earlier, you'll do the meet and greet with the agencies, then the callbacks from those agencies and management companies will start flowing out. If you get one of those callbacks, there'll be very specific things that you need to do to follow up with those agencies. So we tell you what that stuff is. And then, if it comes down to the point where, you're between a couple agencies or you have questions about that whole follow-up process, we're there. We do this all of the time. So as long as you're continuing to reach out to us, we're there to help you. And we like it when clients do, because we know these agents. We've been working with them for a really, really long time. So it's really easy for us to help you out if you utilize us. Yes. Now you can do the next one.
And what kind of clothes do we need to pack for the October show? So our administration team is going to send you a full detailed list of everything that you're going to need. They're going to send you a lookbook of the actual show. So you will have a full guideline of what should be in your model bag, what to prepare. And because when we're working with these themes, we want to make sure that you're dressed accordingly to the theme. So you will have a full list of what you should be packing in your model bags, right?
Yes. In addition to that, you guys are also going to be having an online meeting with the admin team, as well as Laura, the producer of the show, to go over all that. And we actually just determined what that is that you need yesterday. So that should be probably happening in the next couple of weeks, I would assume.
I missed that call.
Yep, sure did.
I was filming. I'm filming for a new project, in case anybody's wondering. Anyways, next question. I'm Venezuelan. Oh, so is Amber, and Stephanie is Colombian. Yeah. But, okay, so sorry. I'm Venezuelan. I want to start in this industry, but I'm learning English yet. I can understand and talk a lot, but not 100%. Is that bad? I need 100% English to do it? Question mark. Well, I would say that, coming into the American market, it's something that you definitely want to really work on as far as English, but it's not anything that's really going to stop you from castings or placement. It will hinder you in some agencies and with some castings. So I would say, keep working on the English, but also it does open up another market for us to actually put you in front of agencies, casting directors that work on the Spanish side of things. So, you will have extra opportunity where some of the American models that are coming might not speak Spanish. So we could actually place you with other agencies that would be working with bilingual jobs. All right.
And I don't know where you're at. I don't know if you're in the US if you're like still in Venezuela or whatever. But if you're in Venezuela and you're in the South American market, then Amber, who we work with, also has Concept Models down there, or Concept MGT is the Instagram, and I'd highly recommend them if you're in South America or Venezuela, Colombia, whatever.
Yeah, we actually just attended their fashion show in Medellin, and they do a phenomenal job as far as prepping talent, working with talent, and she works with the Preview Models company as well, but a very good resource if you are in South America. So when are we coming to New York? Well, I don't know. New York is not on the schedule just yet. Two of them. When will we be in New York? Well, maybe we should come to New York. We actually were in New York. We were in Buffalo, weren't we?
Yeah, we generally never go to like New York proper, Los Angeles proper. There's a saying that I always say, which is, talent doesn't come from LA and New York, it goes there. So most of the time we're doing auditions in other places. So Again, if that's you in one of those areas and you're interested in something like this, you should schedule a virtual audition. And then I think someone was asking about Pensacola being the first week of July. And yes, it is. Pensacola is the first week of July. We'll be opening up applications or submissions for that soon.
On the 1st. Maybe somewhere around there, right? Something like that.
I don't know the exact date or whatever. I think it's like 16 days before or something.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Do I stand a chance? Question mark. I'm 5'2", slender with no experience, participating in the October 24 as a showcase model. Interesting. How did you get the showcase level? 1. And 2, if you have no experience, how are you in the show? Or you must be something different than what I'm thinking, right?
I mean, if you're showcase level at the show, that means you've been through one before. So check mark. You have experience.
Yeah. If you're coming through the October 2024 production, you're 5'2", slender with no experience, you're in the right place. Okay, you're going to be working
for whatever reason, like your showcase level, and you didn't do that, and I don't know how that would happen. But you know, we've kind of been talking about this already. The industry is open to all shapes and sizes. Are you going to be a fit for every job? Absolutely not. But there are, you know, a fit for you out there. Just be prepared, be competitive, be confident.
Yes. And if you're going to the October show, we are going to give you the experience that you need, that these agencies are looking for, so that you can sign with them. That is what we do, and that's probably why you're going. That's my guess. All right. So after the auditions and both sides want to continue working with each other, what would the next steps be, and what would I have to pay if any payments are needed?
So if we're talking about you coming to the show and you're auditioning, you're showcasing for the agents or whatever, like we already explained, there is no payment for these agencies up front. They're only going to take a pay or, you know, a fee, a commission anywhere from 10 to 20%, usually, depending on your contract and the type of job that they're getting for you on the back end.
Okay. When can we get the tickets for the October production? So as far as the show itself, we will probably open that up the week of the actual show. The production itself is fully sold out. It's, standing room only. There's already a lot of press that's going to be there, celebrities, like the show is happening. And as far as tickets go, I think they'll be on sale that week of the actual show. And it is very limited tickets that we will have. If you're a part of Preview Models, your guest list is free to attend the show. Okay. And we would invite you to bring all your family members, it's good to have that cheering section when you're on the runway. And we want you to bring people, bring them to the show. It's free. It's open to the public. And it is, so that, and just to be clear, that's free for everybody, general admission, if you're registered with the Preview Models group, okay? So what is the difference between a modeling portfolio and an acting portfolio? Or how would I put together an acting portfolio? Okay, so I would say, and Peyton, you can follow up here, but the modeling portfolio is going to be different than an acting portfolio. I think the acting portfolio is more so like doing like a demo reel. When you're getting into acting.
Yes, that's the closest thing. But for educational purposes, there's no such thing as an acting portfolio. That's non-existent. Your acting portfolio would most likely be a resume that has all of your work. And like Josh is about to say, a commercial demo reel to show that work. Do you want to tell them what it is?
Yeah, so the commercial demo reel, if you're going on, if you're signed with an agency, you're going to have a demo reel, because when you're going out for acting jobs, these casting directors, they're talking with your agency and they're asking your agency for your reel, okay? They want to see your range as an actor. They want to see how well you deliver lines, what you look like on camera before they even meet you, Okay. And that's something that I would say would be more of like an acting portfolio. And that is something that we also provide through the Preview Models Productions. It's a necessity if you're getting into acting, especially on a national level, to have a really good demo reel. I'll say that. And the modeling portfolio, we already touched on that, but they're definitely different. So, all right. Okay. I would also like to participate in the Paris show. Is that possible? I'm a part of the October 2024 production. It is possible. Yes, we still are accepting applications for Paris. It's in December of 2024, but there has to be a reason for you to go to Paris, okay? It has to be something that you're going to be marketable in an international market, because the agencies that we're going to be working with in Paris are coming from, which markets are they coming from, Peyton?
So the agencies for the Paris show or the Paris event are European markets, obviously, London, because they do a lot of billing for the European markets out of there, sometimes South African markets, and then Asian markets. So yeah, very international.
And if you are interested in going to that Paris show in December, I would say contact us sooner rather than later, because we're almost sold out of that Paris show and actually who we're going to take to that international market. But it is possible, and I would say message us and we'll have a discussion to see if Paris is a fit for you. Okay?
Yeah, reach out to client relations for that. That's probably the best thing. And you know that email because they talk to you all the time.
Okay. What type of questions are asked in an interview? Okay. I wish it were a little bit more specific.
Well, it is. Like an agent interview.
Like, are we talking about agency interviews?
So, you know, things that the agency is going to ask you is kind of, you know, they're going to talk to you about your experience. They might ask you some, you know, things about, you know, what is your experience? What do you do at home? Where are you from? You know, they're trying to get a sense of your personality. You know, if you have a portfolio or resume, they're going to ask you very specific things that are in that. And then on top of that, they're going to ask you where you live. They're going to ask you if you're willing to move or not, which is not a deal breaker, but they just need to know. They're going to ask you how many followers you have, because that's very important these days. They're going to ask you if you have a passport, because that's important these days, even outside of the industry. They're going to ask you if you speak any other languages other than English. They're going to ask you a lot of these, you know, type of very easy questions that you know, but stuff that they need to know to determine how marketable that you're going to be. But for the most part, you know, they're going to ask you just basic questions, and then it just gets nitty gritty if they start asking about work and experience and things like that.
Yeah. Okay. Would including my pictures of my runway walk in my portfolio be considered relevant experience for modeling agencies?
No.
I would say no. No.
The runway should be on your, you know, you really don't have a resume as a model. When you're having these interviews, you know, you can bring that up. If you were on the runway and then happened to do some type of campaign attached to it, that would be in your portfolio. But ultimately, like if you're in a major runway show, there's photography at every single one of their shows. So it is no secret that you were a part of that show. If they really wanted to look into it. And, you know, a lot of unsigned models that do like the New York Fashion Weeks and things like that, or models that are at mother agencies, a lot of those get picked up from at least the major fashion weeks. We're not talking about like Atlanta Fashion Week or something. We're talking about New York, Paris Fashion Week. A lot of the models that are just with mother agencies get picked up at bigger agencies from being scouted straight off the runway. So yeah. If you're on that type of a runway, that's the only one that matters, and they'll know.
Yeah, because they have fashion weeks pretty much in every single state across the United States. Okay. And just because you're doing fashion week, that's not the experience that these agencies are needing. They're needing you to book national campaigns and national jobs. Like the fashion weeks, they're great. And, you know, it's, you know, good exposure for the moment, but we need to make some money. Like we need to book some campaigns. We need to be working. You need to make this a career for yourself. And it's not going to be doing fashion weeks. We hear it all the time, like, oh, well, I was in, Oklahoma Fashion Week like 5 times. Okay, that's great. Is that all you're doing? Like these fashion weeks, you're shooting for your friends' boutiques? Like that's not going to pay the bills. Okay, that's not considered a career. That's considered a hobby. We want to build people to be on a career level in working in entertainment, and it's much different than just these portfolios and fashion weeks, etc. So I'm sorry, but we did not get to all the comments today. You guys asked some really great questions, but that is actually our time. We're a little bit over, and I think it's actually going to shut off here in a second. So I want to say, before we do end, thank you guys all for joining us. Make sure that you guys subscribe to the Preview Models YouTube. There's a bunch of free information on there from agencies, from designers, from top models, and watch those. Start to see what everybody's saying. Like, make a decision for yourself with what's going on. Follow the Preview Models Instagram. They'll show us where we're going, where we're going to be, and you guys come say hi to the crew. We always like to see everybody. One more thing I wanted to say before I got off here, but I forgot. Is there any last-minute words that you would like to say to the group, Mr. Payton?
It must have not have been important then. If you
it was. I had it in the back of my mind. It was like really good.
And it wasn't important. So
lay it out there, but then it left my mind.
Yeah, no, I don't have anything to say. I think we're scheduling another live this next week. It'll probably be like Wednesday or Thursday, so come back and see us. We'll probably have some special guests next week that are a little bit more exciting than us.
You took my word.
But luckily, Josh's microphone is not working anymore, and so
yeah, you took my words. If you guys are on this live, make sure you guys join us next week because we do have some celebrities coming on. And they do have a fashion brand, and they are going to be in the October show with us. And we'll release that next week, but make sure you guys set your reminder. Wednesday next week, we're going to be back on talking more fashion, entertainment, and we really appreciate your guys' time tonight, and we hopefully will see you guys soon. Thank you, guys.